Hi everybody, it's me, Gabrielle here, the battling bard of Poedia, and today it's going to tell you a story about, since Halloween's coming up, and I'm going to tell you a story about when I was growing up, what my mother would do to me. Now what my mother would do is, we would go trick-or-treating, we would go to different places, and my mother was always the kind of person who was able to find out who gave out the best candy. She's like, there are certain villages, boroughs, townships, towns, and cities that give out more candy than others. So we would go to these places, these wealthy people that could afford to buy a lot more candy than the average person, and they would give them out. And what my mother would do is, we'd get big bags of it. And we would always go back with different pillowcases or whatever. And we would do this in different neighborhoods. Yeah. Now, and then, when we would come home, this is what Mother would do. You know, when they say you should have your guardian or your grandparent or your parent or somebody look at your candy to make sure that it's not been tampered with, you know, like it's not been poisoned or something. Well, my mother would do this, and she would say, now look, if anything should happen to me, then you know your candy's bad. But if nothing bad happens to me after I eat your candy, then you know the candy ain't bad. So my mother would do this. She would take certain pieces and eat it and say, well, I guess I ain't getting poisoned. I guess nobody likes this for poison or any toxin, because I'll be dead by now, she would say. I guess nobody tampered with this candy bar or this whatever. And then there would be certain types of candy that I would like. My mother would come and she'd make up stories. Gabrielle, you don't like that stuff. That makes you shit in bed. When we all know that stuff doesn't make me poop the bed. I think the first time I actually said a curse, well, I don't think the first time I said a curse word on this YouTube channel, but I think it's been the first time I actually said the word shit. My mother used to also make up stories about if you ate candy before you went to sleep, you'd get nightmares. Remember from the one episode of Simpsons, you know, where Marge says, I don't think you should eat candy before you go to sleep, you know, it'll give you nightmares. And you know how Homer and Bart were like, yeah. Or Lisa, you know? So, anyway, that's what my mother claimed. You know, Gabrielle, if you eat that candy, you go to sleep, you get nightmares. But I think she just make up stories so she would be able to get more of the candy. I said, but Mom, that's my candy. Now listen here, Gabby, I don't know why I took you out, so I could get half of it. And she would say this to my brothers Joxer, my brothers Ernest and Joxer, my sisters Anne-Marie, Hope, Eve, my also other brothers, you know, also Solon. She'd say this to my sister Sakimi, and she'd probably say it to Zenos too now. She probably says, I take you out, so I give about half of it. Call it candy tax. But it ain't no candy tax. You know, I'm sure candy has sales tax on it because it's not good for you. But there ain't no such thing as candy tax. My mother just made that up. So yeah, we would go to neighborhoods, I guess, either in certain villages and boroughs and townships, towns and cities, where some wealthy people, well, you know, they were at, and they happened to have more money, so they would buy more candy than most people could afford. But, you know, and some of these places were gated communities where you have to go to the gate, and you had to say, well, I'm a trick-or-treater, I'm going in for trick-or-treating, and they'd let you in, if it was a gated community. If it wasn't, you just walked up to the door normally and knocked like anybody else and said trick-or-treat. Now, I don't know if housing authorities do it, I'm not sure. But that's what would happen. We would get big pillowcases, we would go and get multiple candy from these people that had a lot of candy to give away. And then my mother would trying to make sure it wasn't tampered, but in reality she wanted to eat most of it, you know. Then she'd make up stories about how this candy isn't laced with poison or toxin, I'm not dead. Don't eat this stuff, it'll make you shit the bed. This will give you nightmares. You know, things like that. But oh well, trick-or-treating was really good. Except my mother did have fart problems, I kid you not. So we were going to this other place, and she had a fart. And it was disgusting, and she started laughing about it. Can't control the fart. She'd be like, you can't control the farts when they come, Gabrielle, you know. And then she would say, well, that's happy Halloween to you. That's my Halloween trick. That's, you know, trick or treat. Well, that's my trick, the fart. So anyway, that's it. Now hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you later.